What's up, guys? Welcome to Selfie Cam. Whoa. Where are my manners? Let me button this up a little bit, but I'll take these off. How's that? They're blue light filter lenses. I don't need glasses. Anyway, let's talk about this Nike Vapor Cage shoe. So, I was a big fan of the cage that came out before these, but I think they stopped endorsing a Federer shoe, or I should say Federer stopped endorsing the Nike Vapors, and they sort of combined Nadal's shoe with Federer's shoe, hence the Vapor Cage. I really wanted to like this shoe, but I'm going to tell you guys why I didn't. Right off the bat, it's a pretty heavy shoe, but the good news is that the shoe actually runs really large, so you're probably going to want to run like a half size or maybe a full size smaller. So that actually does something for the weight that it's spec'd at, because you can probably fit like a size lower, so the weight of the shoe that you'll actually probably fit in will actually be for the size smaller, which might be 10, 20 grams lighter. And another trick you can actually do is you can swap out the insole for something lighter. I can leave a link in the description for an insole that is definitely a little bit overpriced, but it's super light and it gets the job done. And the thing about this shoe is that it's also kind of like overly cushioned. So this is a super minimalist insole and it's extremely light. So if you get a size smaller and then you take out the insole and you replace it with this one, you'll end up taking like maybe 30 grams off of your shoe, and that'll just shave off a full ounce, maybe even an ounce and a half, depending on whatever your combination is of insole and size reduction. But that's just a nice trick to know for tennis shoes in general, if you're a weight weenie, as they call it in the mountain bike world. So the shoe is kind of heavy, but there are ways to deal with that, and the fact that it's so cushiony kind of make dealing with that ideal in a way. So that's ended up being kind of a positive thing. So I was able to look past the weight ultimately. The lacing system is quite innovative, I suppose. They have like, I'll let you take a look at that. But it goes inside twice on this side of the shoe, and then it runs in on that kind of loop style eyelet that they had on the Vapors, which you see on some of their shoes. So the combination of that is kind of interesting and innovative, but I don't think the actual performance of it actually ends up being that good. And then if you notice, there's only so many actual laces, right? This only intersects 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? Wait. Yeah, excuse me, it actually only intersects 3 times. So you have the beginning and then it's 1, 2, 3, and then that's it. So you don't get like a super strong lockdown lace at all. So in a way, it kind of feels like the shoe just isn't cinched down enough. Not everyone's going to have that problem. There's other things about the shoe that kind of grab your foot in a secure way, but you definitely can't rely on the lacing system to do most of the work for you. So hopefully the shoe just happens to fit you really well. So the lacing system, like I said, is innovative. It actually protects the laces in a really cool way, right? Because if you slide on your foot like this and you sort of drag your toes on a really aggressive slide, the shoelaces here are protected, so you're probably not going to break a lace. Like, this shoe is built like a light tank. And that kind of brings me into the next category of things I don't love about this shoe. So I think it's actually a little bit clunky, and it's a little bit too high off of the ground. So the combination of that just sort of creates for a shoe that, I don't know, there's a little bit of a clown shoe feeling to it. Not that I've ever worn clown shoes, but I think that's a pretty apt description. And my final complaint about this shoe is actually the overall instability. And when you combine that instability with the fact that this shoe rides so high off the ground, so you feel a little bit more top heavy than you might normally, I actually think it might be a little bit dangerous. So I've lowered the camera here and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what I'm talking about. So this is another example, kind of a blessing and a curse. So the way that this heel thing sticks out, kind of nice, but again, it's clunky. But when you're stepping on the ground like this, it's kind of nice to have a part of the shoe that isn't such a jagged edge. Like, you can see that this sort of gradually flattens out. And the other side to that is that this whole shoe here, you can see that it's so rounded on the whole bottom. Like, the entire bottom of the shoe is so rounded that it kind of just wants to wobble, you know? You see that? When you end up stepping on the ground, the shoe doesn't necessarily want to stay planted. It kind of wants to roll. And like I said earlier, on top of it being a little bit top heavy, because there's just so much darn cushion here, and the overall, your foot just feels higher off the ground. If you haven't worn this shoe before and you just worn regular tennis shoes, I think that'll be something you notice. But it kind of has you leaning forward a little bit, and then just the overall height from the ground is noticeable. So you combine that with the fact that the heel just kind of wants to roll in every single direction. It can make you feel like you're struggling to find stability. And this is something I learned to work with. Like when I was moving on the court in such a way that I slid with my foot like this, or maybe you're moving left to right, you're doing kind of a lateral shuffle thing. It's kind of nice that the shoe can plant itself in this way so smoothly, but at the same time, it's kind of not, because it almost moves in and out of that motion too long. And I think what happens is that your muscles here, like just above your ankle, end up stiffening a lot because you have to provide your own stability. You're not really relying on it from the shoe. So I actually think that this shoe might be less stable than you are barefoot. You might start to compensate for that with your legs. And I think for me, it actually caused me to get a little bit of a shin splint. So after that, I just decided there's really no way that I'm going to be able to like this shoe. And if you ever look at the reviews on Tennis Warehouse, pretty much everybody loves it or absolutely hates it. I haven't really seen a review that's like, oh, it's a pretty decent shoe, I don't know if it's for me. Everyone absolutely trashes this shoe or really praises this shoe. So I think it's really just a matter of if the pros and cons work more in your favor as opposed to against you. And that's going to be a highly subjective thing. I know that Carew guy from My Tennis HQ uses these shoes, or at least did for a while, and he's obviously a really high level player. But when you look at top level players, you can't really necessarily trust that the shoe that they're on TV with is actually the retail shoe, because a lot of them have access to pro stock inventory. So it's very possible that the shoe they are endorsing or wearing is absolutely nothing like the one that you can get. But it's more so like that with rackets, and it's sometimes like that with shoes. But again, it's just impossible to say. Anyway, that's my little 2 cents on the Nike Vapor Cage. I wanted to like it, and I just couldn't get myself to, and that seems to be the story for a lot of people. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I will see you guys in a future video. I'm going to do some reviews on some head shoes, actually. Very underappreciated shoe that I think everybody should be aware of. So stay tuned for that in a future video. I will see you guys there. See ya. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and appreciated the content. I will, again, like I just said, I will see you in the next video. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, if you like the content, or if you just want to be nice. Thank you.